Hey, what's going on, world of YouTube? Well, this is A New Breed, and I'm back. Technically, taking it back to the basics on this one. So, for today's exercise, no, not physical exercise, but for today's exercise, I'm going to need you to get a tablet, a pen, and a lot of honesty. The reason why we're going to be doing this is we're going to sit down and start at the basics, go over your physical attributes and your hindrances. This is important to know what objects you need in order to help you prep. Things that are going to help you overcome your hindrances and actually lean towards the better attributes that you have. So your strengths can be magnified based off of specific tools. Also, it'll help you overcome some of your weaknesses. Now, the reason why I want you to sit down is because actually going over and having a reality check and taking the time to analyze ourselves, that's something that's generally hard to do for people. Admitting strengths is something that's very easy, but admitting certain weaknesses are not. And during this list, I want you to list many different things, and we're going to go over the physical basis, not necessarily the mental or the emotional yet, strictly physical. This is going to start you out on your prepping journey. So what do you have that could hinder you? Do you have sciatica? Do you have torn muscles? Do you have any illnesses or pre-existing conditions? These things that could affect you all need to go on this list. Also, understanding your boundaries. When I say your boundaries and your limitations, looking at your limitations in a standpoint of how much weight can you lift? Are you able to walk a mile? Are you able to walk 2 miles? This one is going to be specifically for yourself. We will get into a secondary video where you look at the attributes of the individuals who are with you and those who are going to be helping you. So sit down and let's take a little journey, and I'm going to go over some of the things that I believe you should list and kind of break them down, how these things can be attributes, hindrances, and I want you to just be really honest with yourself, and that's the biggest thing. So let's go on this trip. We're going to start off with weight. How much weight can you lift? How much weight can you move? How long can you do it? How many reps? This is something that you may need to go to a gym, or if you have an at-home gym, something you could sit down and start and have the ability to really learn and scale yourself. This is just one of the things that you need to know. This is very important overall. Now, walking or jogging and the distance you're able to accomplish. This is also something of much importance, especially if you're going to be in a bug out situation or you're going to be doing external hunting or scavenging. You want to know your limitations so you can improvise, possibly put on weights and go for a walk, time yourself and check the distance. We all have phones that can do this, and make sure it's comfortable for you. Don't take yourself beyond your limitations, but remember, be sure to jot down what you can do with how much weight. Can you climb? Say, for instance, being able to get over large hills, mountains, forest areas. Depending on the location, you may run into these frequently. So, are your ankles strong? Do you have the ability to climb? And also, plotting out your course will depend on this. You need to know your limitations because the courses may have terrain that you cannot pass or overcome. So this needs to go on the list also. Now, this is one that I find surprising, honestly. Can you swim? Do you have the ability to swim? And are you prepping for a situation that might bring you near water? If so, be honest with yourself. Don't be too proud to pack a floaty if need be, or any flotation device in order to keep you buoyant and above water if you cannot swim. So this is another thing I believe that needs to go on the list. Next, we will be going over physical disabilities. Now, these are things, of course, that are obstacles, but every obstacle is a challenge, and we can all overcome our challenges. Being able to sit down, understand, and gain the proper tools, we will be able to overcome them. So sit down and really acknowledge everything. We're going to step into a few. Next, put in perspective your visual limitations, such as blindness, nearsightedness, farsighted. What are your limitations? How far can you see? Is your night vision good? Do you have prescription glasses? How many prescription glasses will you need if stuff hits the fan? Working, using eye exercises, different things to strengthen your vision, or is it best for you to get laser surgery prior to stuff hits the fan. Think about this. This is important. How is your hearing? Do you need a hearing aid? How far can you hear? What can you hear? High-pitched sounds, low-pitched sounds. This is a whole nother thing you're going to have to sit down and really analyze, because you're going to need this in a stuff hits the fan situation, or you're going to need someone or something, such as a dog, that can hear for you if you have these type of impairments. Something that's commonly overlooked is your sense of smell. Do you have a very keen sense of smell? Do you have a dull sense of smell? Are there different things and odors that you can pick up in fragrances as far as being able to track or know when there's something around, such as smelling lavender when certain snakes are around, or different things like that, being able to smell certain fruits, vegetables, herbs, things that could possibly save your life? Think about that one. Well, there are many other things that need to be put down on this list, such as anything that can medically impair you. Something that can hinder you from a medical standpoint, say for instance, any medications you need, or ways to go about and get around these things. For instance, say if you have muscle issues, getting up and stretching, doing yoga, different things like that can actually help loosen up the muscles. Certain people have breathing issues. Stepping out, doing breathing exercises, hearing and vision exercises. There are exercises to help with all of these problems. Now, understanding what are your limitations? Like I said, grab a hold of those multipliers. And when I say multipliers, these are things that multiply the abilities you have. For instance, say if you're not a person who can hold too much on your back, but you can take a wagon. The wagon is a multiplier. It does have its hindrances, which you may have trouble getting over mountainous areas, so you're going to have to occupy a different path in order to get from point A to point B. But for a person who can't lift that much weight, that becomes a strength multiplier. So think about that. We will get into other things as far as multipliers in the next video, but like I said, I'm trying to keep these very short and digestible, and I want to help people, and we're going to start back at the basics. So I want to thank everybody for coming, checking me out. Again, if you want to get in touch with me, you can hit me up at anewbreed107, and that's on Instagram. So feel free to get at me, get going, and remember, if you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. Peace.